Welcome to the great podcast. Welcome to the great podcast. Kate.
How are you? No, I'm good. Welcome, guys. We are back again. And I'm sure it's not the normal one.
It's not the normal one. Wow, with the president here. President, can you please introduce yourself? Your camera is that one.
Canon.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, my name is Makhosonke Sangweni. I'm a candidate for Convocation president for VT.
Mm-hmm. Where are you from? We want to know.
Oh, I'm actually from two provinces. I'm from both KwaZulu-Natal and Mpumalanga. My late mother is from Mpumalanga and my late father is from KwaZulu-Natal. So I grew up in both these two provinces.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your journey in studies?
Oh, I started my schooling in KwaZulu-Natal and then I studied my high school in Mpumalanga and matriculated in Mpumalanga. And then after that, I worked, I think, for about 3 years before I came to school here in the Valley University of Technology. I think I concluded my first qualification, which was my national diploma in 2011, and then my BTech as well. But when I completed my BTech, I was obviously working. I'm currently working at the municipality in Mfuleni local municipality, and I'm a manager of communication there. But I also did some other studies like in Regenesis Business School, a postgraduate in public management. And I also did a certificate with the Wits University, which I completed and graduated last year.
You're powerful. You're the president. So I don't know where to start, Kate. Mm-hmm. Where do we start? We start with...
Okay. We get the studies part and you're working at municipality.
Yes.
Communication.
Yes.
So you're the one that releases the press release,
yes,
or anything that's happening around our local community.
Yes.
So you did it from your first qualification.
Yes, I did public relations management. I've got a BTech.
He's a PR. Yes. There was no campus TV. Maybe he was going to be a manager of one content creator.
Content creator at the time.
Yes. As you study, you said you are contesting for Convocation. For us who are sitting here or the viewers who don't understand what is Convocation, can you just explain that to us?
Okay, Convocation is a structure of graduates, only graduates. Remember, there's a distinction between alumni, or there's the distinction between SRC, which is for obviously active students.
Correct.
And I was a former president, by the way, of the SRC and the university from 2009 to 2011. And then there's alumnus. Alumnus includes both undergraduates and graduates.
Yeah.
But Convocation is only strictly for graduates. So the role of Convocation is to facilitate partnerships between the university on behalf of graduates and the public and private sector, and help graduates to get employment and to get further training and creating opportunities. But also you can also extend it by mobilizing resources for the university in the form of course, it will be training, but even money to build new laboratories, to do any other thing that will make life better for students. Oh. But obviously, the primary goal is that everything must be about the graduates.
Okay. So, I understand. So, as you explained to us that what is Convocation so why are you contesting for Convocation?
All right. Many people when I'm lobbying them now to say you must come and vote, they don't understand.
Yeah.
And obviously that tells you that it's because the structure has been dead and been inactive, including the candidate that I'm contesting with. I think he has served the structure for the past 3, if not 4 years. And many people don't know what was his role and what was happening. So obviously we want to reignite that and resuscitate the structure, but then also make the structure to be functional and play their role, because it's not only about sitting in council. It's also about championing interest of those graduates who are out there who have graduated from the university and who are lacking opportunities. Obviously, you can do that working with corporate department, but over and above that, there are many graduates who are successful, like myself. I take about plus and minus 10 interns to give them training in public relations, marketing, and other related studies like graphic design. So there are many other people who are in better opportunities. Some of them, they are COOs, they are CEOs, they are municipal managers, they are directors, they are executive directors. So if we knock on those doors, definitely you will always look after one of your own. So our role will be to knock on those doors to make sure that we create opportunities so that our graduates, they don't graduate and go and stay at home, or some of them prolong their life here at the university, wandering in the street. We want them at the world of work for them to contribute. And some of them, they need trainings. And remember, part of the shortcomings in South Africa is that most of the work will tell you they require experience, and you can't gain experience if you are not in the world of work and training. So we want to create those partnerships, and then want to knock on doors, and then be able to get those opportunities for our graduates. All graduates, black and white, but mostly even those that are disabled, because many of them, they are neglected. But also the university itself has a role to play. My view is that we must campaign now as we are campaigning. One of the resolutions that we want to push is that the university, 30% of the job opportunities that are here, it must absorb 30% of our graduates, because there are a lot of work that can be done by graduates that are new, that doesn't need experience. For example, you are working at RES. I don't think you needed an experience for that, because I know Peter personally, you have been doing human resource management. But it's not difficult to do that. An executive secretary, any support staff, it's a work that you can do, to be a lab assistant, to be a junior lecturer, to work as a librarian, and many other opportunities that are here, to go and be at Van Skyke. I think Van Skyke is where they are selling books. To do that kind of work, to gain experience, I don't think it's something that anyone can fail to do. And also to monitor and do oversight on security in general here, and in for all the we call them the cleaners. We are general workers. So there are many other opportunities. To work at the clinic, it doesn't require really experience. So ours is to make sure that 30% of our graduate must be absorbed by the university and be given that relevant experience, whether permanent or in contract, but at least that we must prioritize them, because you know, a home that is invaded by foreign people, in this instance, meaning to qualify it, is that 99% or 90% of the people who work in the university are people who never graduated with this university. So how do we then expect these other stakeholders to absorb our students when we can't ourselves, people who are training them, absorbing them, and giving them the first time opportunities? So that's really what we're looking to do. That's why we are saying that if given an opportunity, we'll go and knock to each and every door, including in government, of course, to make sure that our graduates are prioritized and are given the opportunity that they deserve, because our university mainly attracts the poor of the poorest, and which are the people that the South African economy needs to make sure that we have a better economy.
You touched on earlier when you started, we see the structure is actually an existing structure. And I didn't know about the structure until I'm a poster up for consistency this year. It was okay, cool. We're consistent for this specific role. And I feel like you touched base enough on what you guys trying to accommodate 30%. It's a promise that you get it. You accommodate 30% of the students that actually can come back and work for the university as well. And you touched on Wuti, the previous person that you're actually contesting with right now was the previous president. Is the current?
No, he was not really a president, but he was representing Convocation in council.
Okay.
You can be a president and not represent them, but you which means you work for Convocation. If you sit in council, which is the highest decision making board, it means you are at a better place, because you are also with captain of industries there, or from various sectors. So I'm saying he didn't do anything in terms of, you don't know it, you are here as a student. But I'm sure you know about the SRC, because on day-to-day there's one or two activities So I'm saying it didn't do anything in that sense, because he had an opportunity to have programs. So the results that we have now, that people don't know what is Convocation, because it has been there by name, but in practice it has not been there.
It's not been existing.
Okay. Yeah, graduate. That's why I was allowing you to ask the questions.
To ask questions. Let's say you get the position as the president, right? Is structure which department structure?
It's in the office of the registrar.
Of the registrar.
Yeah, it's in the office of the registrar. Of course, it has partnerships with the corporate department, as I said. Yeah, corporate department, because obviously they also do some similar work. But obviously theirs will be different from us, because we can initiate programs. We can go door to door. Like, for example, one of the other proposals that we have is that we've got 9 provinces. what will be wrong for us to hire 18 people? Two will focus in each and every, if two to focus in each province. Let's say there are 9 provinces, 9 times 2 is 18, right?
Okay.
And then you hire those people full time for them to be sent or to be ambassadors who goes and knock door to door to all the corporate of South Africa, including in the continent. Of course, we shouldn't limit ourselves to South Africa because we belong in one continent, including in the world. There are many opportunities. Currently, Germany, they've got a problem of not having people who are applying for jobs because their citizens are old. It will not be wrong to take more than 500 of our graduates if there are opportunities for them to get a job in Germany. But in order for that for us to happen, what must happen? We must create those opportunities. We must knock in those doors. We must make those initiatives. So I was thinking that if we are given 18 people that will employ permanently, who can be able to focus and do the work of convocation on day to day, I'm sure we'll see the results. If at the end of our term of office, which I think is 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, we could have succeeded to have put about 1,000 or 2,000 people in those opportunities or in those training, even 20,000. I'm just saying one, just to be realistic, because it's not always as easy as one may say it. Because remember, corporate world in South Africa is still dominated by issues of race.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but if we would have done that, at least as an initiative, people will then start to appreciate the work of the structure, the value of the structure, and then we can build that foundation so that the next generation can know what to do, so that we don't only rely on people putting CVs at corporate and hope that they will be called, when we've got a structure that can be able to do the work on a day-to-day basis and bring back results.
Did mention that we are a generation that's from the poorest of the poorest. So also guys gonna raise like funds.
Definitely. We're going to raise funds both from graduates, of course, your normal Ghana dinners, which are typical ways of raising funds. But as I said to you, we need to knock on doors on all this corporate world, including banks, including any other private sectors, mines, with power stations around us here. We also have got municipalities here that can also contribute. So whichever form of donation and contribution will initiate those funds. But also, one of the things that I'm going to do myself if I become president is that I'm going to sacrifice the salary that I'm given from the university, because when you sit in council, you get paid for every meeting that you attend or any other activity that you do. So I'm going to sacrifice that. I don't know how much is it, but I think the last time I checked, it was about 4,000 per meeting. So now I'm sure it's more than that. And I'm an external person because I'm not from the university. So you may find that it's 8,000 or whatever. So I'm going to sacrifice that salary and make an initiative from it that this will be our contribution. It will help the poor students that are registering, and many others that will be in need. So that's one of the things that I will do.
Okay, cool. Let's say you win the elections now. Your role's gonna start when?
Immediately and effectively, yeah.
Immediately effective.
Yes.
Which is this year.
Yeah, the 14th of October, we're voting. And I think by when we're done, they will be counting and immediately results will be announced. And then the president will be officiating the AGM, where we're going to discuss the program of action with all graduates who must attend and also bring also their own ideas. Then from there, the work has started.
Okay, because I'm about to ask you that. Could see after normally you vote, after voting, there's no follow up, there's nothing. We're not called to say our issues or raise what's going on within us, because as you said, you feel like the young ones actually have a chance to make a difference, and that's why you guys are trying to put them in every department, because they have something new to offer as well, right? So you're saying after 14 registering, there's going to be a program for graduates,
yes,
to come join and actually be part of the meeting as well, the committee.
Yeah, after voting, it's an AGM. AGM means that it's where they will be announcing the results of those people who have voted.
Okay.
And then I think there are 4 people who are 4 positions that are available and 4 people who are contesting. Then from there, obviously, in an AGM is where you adopt your program of action for the duration of your term. So that's when you graduates who have graduated are expected to say, except from the program that was your manifesto that we've elected you for, we think you can add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we all adopted that program. And then that's what you are going to hold us accountable for the next 2, 3, or 4 years that will be in office.
Okay, cool. Okay. So since you say you're an external person that's coming in VUT, if a graduate wants to come actually knock as you promised, if you get the position, where can we access you guys?
Yeah, convocation office is available I think it's led by Peter. I forgot what is his name. Yeah, but he's a Hotman Peter. Yeah,
The one
yeah,
with alumni.
yeah, the one who
Alumni.
been, yeah, so
Okay.
sharing the office there, so we'll be there. That is why one of the proposal I'm making to you is that we must have full-time people who are going to be working there, and that is also part of creating an employment. If we hire 18 people who will work across the country in all provinces to make sure that they pursue the program of convocation, we will have hired people, but also it means that we'll have people going to the office and then interacting with us so that we can attend to whatever issues that we'll be bringing in the office.
So besides job creation, is it open for like bursaries and I was only focusing on job creation?
No, everything, even including bursaries. For example, we've got the responsibility to mobilize NRF and more funding from higher education and all other sectors that are research-based to make sure that there is more funding to the NRF so that, remember, there is what I don't know now, the structure, how it is, because this advance and what it confuses me. But in my era, we used to have a diploma. And then after we have a BTEC. So most of the time you will be told that NSFAS can't fund the BTEC. So now I think we still have that similar situation that advance cannot be funded. Then you rely on NRF. But remember, if you are graduated, you are 1,000. You may find that they will tell you can afford to fund 400, which you shouldn't allow. We should always have funding for everybody that is enough so that people can study as much as they want because the world of work needs as many educated people as we should have. So we will not only focus on that, we will also mobilize that there is more funding to NRF. And obviously, we also have proposals as to how we can contribute in making sure that NRF see a need to invest in us by making the best of research and reducing our research output. Because that's why that's where university gets money, and that's why NRF then feel a need to invest more in making sure that it gives more funding to those graduates of that particular institution. VETS is not the best as people think more than VT. The only thing is that they specialize properly in research, and then it's an older institution than us, and then that's why they seem to be having a lot of money than us. So the systems that they have, we can also implement them here, and then take VT to be one of the best universities where we actually have always belonged.
Okay, I want to check something. My question is gonna come on. I'm doing advance. I'm sitting here. I'm listening to this podcast now, and you are saying we need to come and vote. I'm doing advance. As an advanced student, VUT we have challenges of a lot of students. After graduating, they want to come back for advance, but it's certain courses that have bursary, right? And certain courses they don't have bursary. So I want which words can you say to those ones who are doing third year now? I know there are those ones who are advanced who are doing now, they're gonna go and vote. But these ones who are doing third year, what promise can you make for them to motivate? Maybe they are still go and vote for Mr. Makhosonke because of his promise 1 to 3, because it's a struggle. Many people are sitting at home because of the funding. So what other strategy? I heard you talk about the bazaar and NRF and everything. What can you maybe you can work with as a convocation? What strategy you have to work with institution to make sure that the graduates, the advanced students and postgrad who want to continue their studies get like previous people used to register for free, but this one they don't have funding for, they don't have even that 2,000 something to register.
The advance doesn't even allow you to register without the 2,000 days of funding. And to think about, let's say you raise the 2,000 A funding for your advance. We are full demand, but nobody's paying your fees, or there's no buzzer, and you know at home it's bad. But you still want to continue for a postgrad. But obviously, I know with AVT, you don't go to postgrad if you haven't paid fees for advance. When it's stress fees for advance before the end of the year, you want to continue, you don't even have that other 2,000 for the postgrad, such implementations. So what more can you guys actually offer those that still in those?
Yeah, well, you see, the issue is that we must fight for more funding, and more funding we must start with NSFAS. This thing that they want to fund only undergraduate and first degree, it must come to an end because, for example, I'm a tax-paying citizen in South Africa. And they have never made a consultation with me as to how much would you like or to what extent would you want your money to be used in terms of funding. Any citizen of South Africa want to study further must never be denied an opportunity. But obviously, this work we can only do if all structures of governance are united, which includes the SRC. For example, you know that convocation is not partisan. It's not whether it's about the ANC Youth League, SASCO, EFF. Or, no, it cares less about which political party you come from. So if we work together, we're united. Obviously, undergraduates debate must come from the SRC with their own ideas, and then we must complement those ideas. But the first thing that we'll obviously have to prioritize, NIRF must be able to open their doors, and we must also make sure that there's investments of more funding. For example, I spoke to you that we've got a lot of industries around here. What is their role in making sure, because they are beneficiaries of graduates of this institution, what is their contribution? What is their corporate contribution towards institution like higher education, like VUT, even your TVET colleges? Because most of the people that they've hired, they are educated, and most of them, they came from institutions like VUT, which are former technicons, but also came from TVET. So it's for us to go to them and knock in the doors and do that. But two, another opportunity I have is that I work in the municipality, and I'm an activist in my own right as well. The municipality need to make sure that they also fund not less than 100 students each and every year who wants to study further. And we must obviously prioritize, we can say 100 to undergraduate and 100 to postgraduate, those who are now no longer funded. Because, I mean, if you wanted to be a doctor, it means that you can't leave your studies with your first qualification. It means you must go to advanced, honors, masters until you become a doctor. So we want those doctors.
Okay.
So therefore, though that's one of the things that I think I can immediately try to do. But also generally, we've got a very progressive provincial government thus far. It invests a lot of money also in education. So we also need to knock on those doors, and then we reprioritize them and say, as VT, how much are you giving us, and how many of our graduates that you want to fund, especially those who want to do postgraduates, not the undergraduate, because for undergraduate, clearly NSFAS caters for them. But we want more, because we have realized that we have many people with just a diploma or a first qualification, but now we want them to study further, because there's no use for them to study. Some of them were not creating opportunities for them to get jobs or immediately. And then we say they must go home with only a diploma, or else in your post, some of the times you want masters, you want some postgraduate. So those are some of the things that I think we will do. But in knocking doors to all these corporate sectors, we will be trying to say to them, we don't want only jobs, but we also want more funding for you to be able to give our graduates or undergraduates who have interest to study further.
I hear you talking about all these organizations. Is it something that you already started doing? Have you started knocking on the doors, or you only going to start when you get the opportunity?
No, it will be unfair I think it's an unfair question in this instance. For example, if we are playing soccer, you cannot train if the team has not signed you, because they will ask you what do you want here. So for now, I don't have the authority for me to can go in personally to do that. But like I said, as an activist in my personal contribution, I don't take less than 10 students to make sure that for them to get training and graduates in the institution which I'm not. So that's the small contribution that I can do. But obviously, because the work is immediate and effective, then we'll have authority to represent the institution and say, as an institution, these are the programs that we have, and this is what we're requesting. So it will obviously, I have an idea of what we want to do, but we have not really started. It will be nice for me to say that.
Okay. I don't know, Kate, if you still have another question. Now I think I have my last one. Yes, as you said, Uri, she asked a question. You say you are not yet there. If you are voted in, obviously you're going to start immediately. As a former president of VUT, I understand. As a former president of VUT, I think you served 2 times, right?
Yes.
Yes. I believe most of people you work with, as you are working at the municipality, there are people who are working that you were serving with, and people you know.
Yes.
I hope that connection, if you win this, the connection you have is going to help us as people who are going to vote for you, the art graduates. I believe you're going to use that. So I want you to give us your cameras, that one. You can give your last word and can tell us when is the voting. And also before we go to that, I wanted to know, can you give us we know that there's a chairperson of Convocation. Can you give us other portfolios?
Oh, now, first, let me start by saying, I'm going to win Peter. You are a pastor, you are a Christian. So your prayer will help me to win as well, but also the work that we are putting on the ground. Okay. So I'm confident on winning. That one I can promise you. But one thing that I can tell you is that those people that are incorporated, sometimes they do have opportunities. Just to answer your question, they do have opportunities. It's just that we've been working in silos. There's no one who has been mobilizing them in one. Say, how do we contribute? To focus specifically on VT, because many of them, they are influential position. For example, there's one former president called Sasabona Mangai.
Yes.
He has been a CIO of one of the state agencies in South Africa. If I can ask him, how many people have you taken from VT, direct from VT, except those that you know, he'll tell you that there are 6 or 7 those that they've taken.
Yeah.
But you see, if we're working together, it will
Correct.
be easy for us to then have a direct program. So
Yeah.
definitely those relations that we have, including to those who, remember VT was formed in 1966, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. So including those who studied from 1994 to now, we need to look for them and put them in a database as our members. And then we say, can we knock on those doors and you create those opportunities? Some of them are outside the country, some of them are in Africa, some of them are obviously in South Africa. So we'll have to reignite those relations between them and university so that they can help us in this program. So the program will not only be limited to access leadership, as leadership will just be a bridge and be facilitators of that agenda. That I think I've covered you.
Yeah.
The positions that we have, the portfolios that we have the president, the deputy president, we have non-academic and academic.
Oh,
Yeah, so there are 4.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think we'll obviously introduce our own lineup once we're done, because there's obviously been lobbying with all those who are interested. So we do have a lineup that is final, but we are just going to announce it at the right time, which I think is next week. So yes, is those 4 positions that will be contested.
Okay. When is the date?
The
of
date is
voting?
on the 14th of October. The voting started 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. But obviously, because we've got people who are coming from other SADC countries, like Lesotho, Botswana, and Swaziland, who have made a commitment that they are coming. So obviously, we may look into requesting to extend it between 8 to 4 p.m. because, I mean, there's no rush. There will be no need for people to drive from that side or fly from that side, and then when they get there, they don't get the opportunity to make their mark.
Yeah.
So we're looking into that. But for now, as it stands, it's between 8 to 2 p.m. The voting is manual and physical. You come to campus with your ID, passport, your old student card if you have. Like for those of us who have not been in the university for the past 13 years, obviously, if we still have those student card, yes. But if not, you have your ID, you have your passport. Even international students, because remember, some of the international students, they don't use the identity numbers that we're using. So they must bring whatever identity, form of identification that when they were registering, they were using. So that's when the elections will be taking place, and we're looking forward to that day.
Okay.
No, for me, from my end, I really hope, because I'm also a graduate
All right.
and doing my advanced and looking forward to be studying next year for my postgrad. So I really hope, not even next year, after this week, when I start knocking, the doors must start opening.
No, definitely. But you must also pass well so that you can get the opportunity. Because remember, there are a lot of factors that they look and need to prioritize. Sometimes you can be doing a course that they say they have not allocated funds for. But if you are doing well, they sometimes prioritize you. But anyway, you have got an advantage of gender. So women is the people that they need and not.
And don't worry, when it comes to the academic results, that's why I'm talking with confidence. When I come knock, yeah.
You study PR too.
Yeah, I did. By the way, I'm studying PR, so and I also heard you saying every year you give like 10 positions for students to come work as public officers, graphic design, and all. So please put us into consideration, because I think most of our team here at the Great Podcast actually is doing graphic design, videography, and PR as well. So when I'm saying I'm actually knocking, I'm knocking with the qualification and continuing.
No, definitely. I will obviously do that. Peter, you have my numbers as my contact. I think especially specifically for those who are doing public relation, marketing, and graphic designing, we really will do our best to assist them, and we have assisted many of them, and will continue to do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, President. We really appreciate your time. On the 14th of October, right?
Yes.
Desmond Tutu.
Yes.
They will be voting for convocation. It's for those who are graduates. Us who are doing third year and second year and first year, let's prepare ourselves to vote other years, not now.
Yeah.
This year, we want people who are doing advanced and people who are graduate, who are working. Wherever you are, you can come and make the right choice. Because this university, if it change and do the great things, even us who study here, we're going to be proud. So let's come in numbers and support the people who are going to contest in these positions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lastly, one of the things I want to say that there are a problem in my university, I see it has not changed even now. Even when I was here, it was a fact. People who go and vote, don't vote because a person belongs in your own tribe.
Yeah.
And don't allow a person to persuade you because of we're both from Limpopo, we're both from KwaZulu-Natal.
Yeah.
Tribe must not matter. You must look at the political will and commitment of that person, whether they can do a job or not. I mean, for some of us who are lucky to have served, you can always trace the history and look whether this person is capable or not.
Yeah.
So I see that the people that sometimes when we are campaigning and contesting equally now, some of them want to border on using tribalism. So we must fight against that because of, for me, I personally, I don't even have a Zulu friend, but I'm Zulu. Rita is one of my friends is Venda. And many other people that I have stronger friends, I have what. So sometimes it pains when you find people using tribe as as a prerequisite to decide whether I want to vote for this or vote for that. And that's a demon that we must obviously, all of us, defeat. Because they don't even use race in particular, they are using tribalism. So we must never use race, we must never use tribalism. Vote for people that you know that they care about the people and they care about, especially the poor people who are from disadvantaged background. So that will be our request because I know that and I've seen that many people are using that to try and mobilize vote, and we shouldn't allow it. We must defeat it. We must see all of us from different tribes voting for people that we know they are capable, not people because of they belong in a particular province or particular clan or tribe. So that's my request to all graduates.
Okay. Thank you very much. I believe they graduated ahead. So thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Just make the right choice for yourself.
Yobo, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.
And share.
And share. Who are doing the most. Thank you.
Thank you.